Studies have shown that consistent violent video game playing can result in aggression, especially among young kids. Hi, I'm Quinn, and I'm here to tell you about the negatives of violent video games and entertainment. But first, let's talk about the positives. There are a few positives of playing video games, such as they are entertaining, they do occupy time, and they improve dexterity, which is hand-eye coordination. But positives are far less than negatives. The Supreme Court ruling in California in 2011, they tried to pass a law to make sure that kids cannot buy video games that are under the age of 18, buy violent games. But the Supreme Court struck down that law, saying that there is violence in cartoons and fairy tales, and we don't monitor that for kids being able to see that. Which a lot of people feel is a lot different, because in video games you're actually it's very interactive. You're actually pulling the trigger to kill these people, and when you're watching a show, it's nothing like that. So I'm sure a lot of people feel that in the next couple of years, as the video game consoles get more enhanced, there'll be a lot more cases like this coming up. The problem: kids are spending too much time playing games. They become numb to the violence because they don't realize what they're doing. I know everyone knows it's virtual, but they don't really understand the meaning of what they're doing in the games, and it results in spikes of aggression. There have been numerous tests and research that show that kids who play these games, after playing them, these violent games, become very tense and angry, and this spike in aggression. And a lot of young children, like 10, 11, 12, around that area, they have difficulty separating fantasy from reality. So that's kind of a scary thought. I mean, they realize that these games are virtual, but they're not old enough and mature enough to really realize what they're doing in these games, like running over people, shooting them, actually being the ones to pull the trigger. The violent spikes of aggression have been linked to playing a role in young people's decision to perform violent acts. Case in point, in Columbine High School, Dylan Claypool and Eric Harris, they're 17 and 18 years old, and they were relatively normal students at their school. They weren't, they're a little off, obviously, but they went to their school on April 20th, 1999, and shot 13 people, shot them dead. And this is kind of the very first case that kind of came up about violent video games. They were said to be very obsessive with computer games, very gory computer games in 1999, and that became known after everything. And a lot of people began arguing the fact that maybe these games are causing these kids to do this. And then Sandy Hook, Adam Lanza, this was in December of 2012, he went into an elementary school and shot 28 people. And he was known to be an addict of World of Warcraft, which is a very gory fantasy computer game. And so this also contributed to the argument that maybe these video games are causing these kids to do this. And there are many factors that go into a person wanting to shoot up, wanting to do crimes like this. It's family life, social life, are they bullied at school? It's not just video games that cause these kids to go over the edge, but it could be a factor. As Jim Steyer, CEO of Common Sense Media, states in his February 19, 2013 sit-down with PBS, even though there are a lot of factors that go into kids wanting to commit these crimes, if a video game was a tipping point, or if it was the thing that set them over the edge, that's a big deal, and we need to have a solution to this problem. And as Brad Bushman, a psychology professor at Ohio State University, stated with his sit-down with PBS, you get rewarded for killing people in these games. You are also rewarded for things you might hear, like great shot, nice kill. And we know that reinforcement increases the probability of behavior. So in every single game, you get rewarded. You get points for killing somebody or running somebody over, or eating someone if you're a monster. You get all these points for all this stuff. All your friends are like, oh, that's so awesome, like, you're so good at this game. Call of Duty, you're shooting other people. And you get points, and you get a level up for the more kills you get. PBS conducted a test at Ohio State University where they brought students in to play 3 hours of a violent video game. They set them in a room, and they played Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto on Xbox 360. And they took an aggression test before they went into the room, and then they played their 3 hours of video game, and then they took a similar aggression test as they left, and the results were stunning. The aggression levels spiked on every student after they went in and played these games. So So these do have a direct link to aggression, but there's just not enough proof to advance the age to get these games ranked in. The solution would be to increase the age. Right now, to get a rated M game, you have to be 17 years old, and a lot of people want to see that rise to 18 or maybe even more, because the games are getting so realistic and so gory that a lot of people at that age can't handle it. And educate the parents. Parents of kids need to monitor how long their kids are playing and what kind of games they're playing, and monitor if there's any behavioral changes the longer that they play these games. And as Eugene Barrison, professor at psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, stated in his article, Inside Out, Outside In, that the only issue with increasing the age necessary to obtain these games is that it's going to become just like alcohol is to minors. Adults are going to just buy these games and give them to people they know, or give them to their kids, even if they're their parents. It's going to be the same thing as alcohol is today. So that's important, how parents need to realize what kind of games that their kids are playing and monitor their behavior, because if they do enhance that law, we need to stop it from being like alcohol to minors. Here's a poster of all the 3 rating systems. We have rated E, and as you can see, they are no real graphic at all cartoons. We've got a panda in this one, Legos. Then you go to rated T, where you have to be 13, a teenager, to get this. And you start to see them get a little more graphical. Got a little gun in there, a lot of robot stuffs. Got James Bond taken after a movie, so not too gory. And then you get to the rated M's, which you must be 17 to buy. As you can see, a lot more guns. If this is actually an enhanced photo, you see that this girl is actually naked in this photo. So, but it's a lot smaller. But yeah, you see gas masks, helicopters going out of control, motorcycles, tattoos, fancy cars, women, all over. So you can even tell by the cases the difference between these games. So, that's the end.